Great. Hey guys, I thought I would do something a little bit different, here this evening, because we're all, there's so many videos about comp plans and all of those things. There's very few real explanations about how to get from one point to another point. And so that's what I really wanted to cover here this evening. And I kind of call it a treasure hunt, right? I mean, and this is your treasure map in front of you, and that map is going to be able to take you to, hopefully a place that some of you have never been before. And I'm talking about the top 2-3% of the income earners in the country and probably in the world. And within that small space of that 2 or 3% of those income earners, you get to do and you get to have a lot of other things that a lot of other people only wish that they had. So, this little number 59 was our Indianapolis 500 car that we raced, and it was a it was a great time. We had another component to that team, which was a unlimited hydroplane offshore racing boat like Miss Budweiser. Yeah, it was a fun time. But that's not part of the story. I just wanted to show you a couple of pictures. Having a plan, and that's what it's all about. It's about having a plan, and having a plan is worth a discussion, but having a plan that's working is worth a fortune. Okay? I mean, I'm sure everybody would agree with me there. What I'm going to show you is your roadmap to this fortune. How long it's going to take you will depend on your speed, right? It'll depend on how well you follow the map, how well you follow directions, and it depends a lot on the vehicle you're going to take to that destination. Now, a lot of people like to take a, brand new, shiny object and try to run it to the finish line. But if you are going on a long distance, race, then that's probably not the best choice for going over mountains and around things and doing doing all of those things. You're probably better off to drive something like that, maybe it's got a license plate on it like that. So that really is, the vehicle that we're going to be talking about is Valentis. So all I want to do is ask you a question. Can you do this? And I want everybody to show this to everybody on your team. Hey, Bob, this is Tom. How's that life-sucking job treating you these days, right? I've got a plan to get you and me to $25,000 a month residual income in 2 years. You interested? Not very difficult, right? I mean, it's that conversation that kind of lights up a person. They go, hey, this is maybe what I was hoping he was going to call one of these days and, have this conversation with me. But, and that's how it is. I mean, that's how simple this is. What I want you to do, Bob, is I want you to watch this video, and then I want you to send it out to everybody that you know with this note. Bob, I found a company that we can make a fortune with if we hurry. Watch this video. Call me when you've watched it, Tom. Now, obviously, I had to put Tom there. You should probably put your name instead of Tom, since they won't know who that is. But that video, and I'm not going to play it, but it's the video that Rick and John and I did, and it's 20 minutes, right? So, and when you call back, you need to ask the person this question. What did you think about the video? You're a coffee drinker, right? Bob says yes. Well, you told me you wanted to lose some weight no matter how hard you tried, right? And, well, here's what I did. I invested $600 in some weight loss coffee inventory with a company called Valentis. Have you ever heard of them? Nope. I've never heard of them either until I watched this video. everybody still at this point will say, no, they've never heard of Valentis. There's getting to be a few people that I'm running into that's now saying, yeah, I've already heard about it and so on and so forth. But I give them a little bit of more information. They're a 5-year-old company. You want to make sure that it's not a startup. They're a 5-year-old company that's done over $125 million in sales, and they introduced a weight loss coffee June of 2018, and it's absolutely awesome, right? So again, it's just little steps leading up to this conversation, right? And really you have two options at this point. If Bob's a player, then the conversation goes like this, and this is the best option, you know, be a business builder. I mean, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for people that are excited about an opportunity, not about just losing a little bit of weight. So, hey, Bob, I'm looking for a few people that want to do this with me. It'll be a blast, you know. It'll cost you $600 for initial inventory and $160 a month starting next month to stay active. You interested in doing this with me? You know, and what we're going to try to do is move the envelope, right, and move things a little bit faster than what we've been doing things, because we're just going to have to keep up with everybody else. You're interested in doing this with me? Great. Okay. Well, then, you know, let me get you a couple of things. And if Bob's not a player, you know, then it's back to, you know, step two, right? Hey, since you said you were a coffee drinker and said you were interested in losing weight, you know, I want to get you a couple of samples of this magic coffee in your hands to try. I'll send you 10 samples under one condition. You drink all of them yourself, right? Put them on the spot. Okay, yep, I'll drink all of them myself. And I'll call you. Bob says, hey, I agree. Send me those samples and let's see how it tastes. Sure. Okay, let me make sure that I've got your email address. Hey, Bob, one more thing. Valentis pays me for spreading the word. What I mean is that if you buy, I earn money that's paid from Valentis. So don't advertise, or, you know, they don't advertise or put their product in stores. It's all done through referral. So, you know, last question, if the coffee worked for you as well as it worked for me, then you're probably going to want to share this with other people, right? Yep. You're okay making money, aren't you? Yep. Okay, great. Then I'm going to register you in our free referral system so you can begin to check out the potential. You know, and whether you say it like I say it, or you got to kind of own it yourself, right? And I try to write it like I say things, and sometimes it's a little rough, and sometimes I have to cover it up a little bit. But hey, Bob, here's the information I promised. Your coffee samples are on the way. Please call me when they arrive so we can discuss the best way to drink the coffee to get the optimum results. And I can't tell you how important. Now, all that other stuff is all preliminary, right? I mean, it's all leading up to the next steps. And the next steps are getting Bob some information so that they can go look around, hunt around a little bit, and start to look at things. And you know, one of the things, I mean, I like to send them all of these things. I like to send them the corporate website. I like to send them the opportunity movie. I tell them not to take the free tour, right? I like to send them the Facebook testimonial page. I like to send them the video on how the coffee works neurologically. I like to always send them Marshall's video because I think that's the best 5-minute video I've ever seen done. So, and then I attach the Slim Roast ingredients flyer. If you don't have that, by all means, get a hold of me and I'll get that to you. And again, it's just, you know, having something to put into that package with those samples. I think, you know, we've done some things here. And I said, you know, is this something you think you could do? Of course, it's something that anybody can do, right, if they want to do it. So let's get on with what it is. what I said in the very beginning was a treasure hunt, right? And I want to try to get everybody to this treasure. Getting into that $25,000 a month income, right? 300 grand, 250,000 to 300 grand, into that top 2 to 3% of the income earners in the country. And it certainly is possible. I mean, I've only been here for 14 months, and yes, I've worked a lot, but it's paying off. There was my volume here today, earlier this morning, 154,000 on the left and 318,000 on the right. So, and so what you are going to need, I tried to put that in here. Again, we're going to reduce it to the ridiculous, right? We're going to take the numbers. I mean, anybody that looks at 25,000 a month, they go, how in the world can you do that? Well, you have to break it down into baby steps, right? You've got to break it down and break it down and break it down until they go, well, you know what? That's possible. That's possible. And once a person believes and thinks that it's possible, then, then it's possible, and it's possible in their mind. And so, you want to break that down into weekly and daily activities. 25,000 a month times 12 months, 300,000 a year, divided by 52 weeks, because we get paid weekly, $5,800 a week. That's 288 cycles, or about 28,000, say 30,000 on one team and 60,000 on the other team. So that's kind of that's what you're looking for as far as numbers are concerned. And I'm strictly looking at this from the dual team aspect of the business. I'm not including fast start bonuses and legacy bonuses and all those other, things that are part of the compensation plan, because really and truly, your big money is going to come from the dual team. And anybody that hasn't recognized that yet hasn't been really paying attention, because John is just about ready to max out the dual team at 100,000 a week. So that's where the money is, right? And how do we do that? How do we get to that volume? How do we get to that? It's simple. It's people, duplication, product sales, right? 1,250 people on one team, 2,500 people on another team. Now you might seem that again, those are big numbers. How in the world is that possible? But if you have a plan to get there, building a team, it's all about duplication and belief. And while I'm on the subject of belief real quickly, we have our event in Orlando on the 5th, 6th, 7th. That will be the biggest belief booster that anybody will ever receive. If they're brand new in the business, I would highly encourage. I know it's expensive. I know it's inconvenient. I know it's all of those things, and maybe they don't know a bunch of people there, but you know what? It won't matter, because they'll feel the camaraderie. They'll feel the culture that's being created. They'll feel, all the other things, because it's just, it'll be a great experience for anybody that goes, and especially somebody brand new, never been in the industry before. That really is something to think about. This is something that I created a long time ago, and I think, we've kind of got off track. I mean, I think I've even got off track because, we started down the road. I talk about giving product away because it's the path of least resistance, right? It's the path of least resistance. If I tell a friend I'm going to give him 10 samples, now he's obligated to me, right? He's obligated. Now if he pays me $20 for him, now he's not obligated anymore. He's exchanged, something for the product. And, again, that has some resistance, just getting money from somebody. So for one, I think $600 that somebody spends to come into the business, that's an advertising expense, right? That is your initial inventory advertising. And, there's, quite frankly, folks, if you had to do $600 a month for the next 12 months, that's $7,200. That would be a small price to pay to build an income that has unlimited possibilities, And again, you're just fishing for people. And when I originally put this chart together, it looked a little bit differently. In fact, it looked like this, right? Because it was what we were doing was giving away canisters, right? And whether you use canisters or sticks or canisters or all the above, it really doesn't make any difference. It's just about getting people in motion, right? Letting them try the product, getting them engaged in the business, and having them do exactly the same thing. When we throw in all these other possibilities that they can do, it just makes for more confusion as far as I'm concerned. So, I say the $600 is an expense. Let's go and give away 15 canisters to the best people that you know. And out of that, you're going to get 20%. You're going to find 20% of the people, maybe more, depending upon what your relationship is with the person that you're giving that to, and how well you pre-qualify that person. You're not just pulling a name out of a hat and out of a phone book and sending them off a canister of coffee. It's somebody that somebody that you trust, somebody that that you worked with in the past, somebody that you've got a close relationship with, and because it's a $60 gift. Let's face it, it's a $60 gift. And I let people know that, hey, I'm going to send you a can. It's $30. It's 30 cups. It's $2 a cup. My gift to you under one condition, that you're going to follow what I ask you to do. And we're going to see how well this works for you. And if you get into business with me, this is what I want you to do. And you see how the numbers start to escalate very, very quickly. It's that penny doubling effect, but it really starts to take hold, right? Look, the fourth month, you got 405 samples going out. That's if we're only doing 15. Fourth month, if we're doing 35, you're taking your 350 sticks, putting them into packages of 10, and you got 35 packages to get out. Now, hey, what if it takes you 3 months to get them out? I don't care. I don't care. It's not necessary to get them all out the first month. It's just a process that you've got to keep going on. And, again, it's pre-qualification, it's talking to the people, it's then doing the follow-up that you've got to become natural at, right? You just got to, that has got to be part of your DNA, that you're going to continue to follow up with people. You're going to text them. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to email them. You're going to, point them in the direction of calls and webinars and Zooms and so on and so forth. You're going to do the three-way call with myself or Mitch or somebody. So, you just got to get real good at that, because you've got 35 potential people out there. 7 of them are going to say yes. Again, back to that 20%. And if 7 of them say yes, you've got $700 in Fast Start. You got $400 in Legacy bonus. And when the other bonus was $250 a share, it's kind of dropped down. You get 2 shares, so you had another $500. So you more than paid for your product, right? More than paid for your product. In fact, you doubled your money. So again, looking for a few people, and that's all we're ever doing. We're looking for a few people who are looking for a few people who are looking for a few people. And you just got to get into that duplication, because once you get down to that 5th and 6th month, if people are duplicating, look, you got 588,000 packages going out. That's ridiculous. You got 117,000 people that said yes. Now, it's not I mean, it's a large number, but you're dealing in large numbers, right? All you've done to get the pump started was to give away 35 packages. You took that person, that prospect, those 35 people through a process. And we're going to talk more and more and more about that, very simple process to take that person from being a prospect or maybe even a suspect to a prospect to a warm prospect to somebody who is excited and on fire. I have to tell you a story real quick about a person in Dallas, Texas that called me Saturday. And he said, the first words out of his mouth, he said, "I never thought I'd ever be calling you." And I thought, wow, I said, well, I appreciate that. He said, but he said, "I've been watching what you've been doing. I've been getting all your emails. I get all your text messages. Something's going on over there." And I go, "Yeah, something's going on over here." And he said, "I'd sure like to try some of that coffee." And I said to myself, "I thought you'd never ask," right? And so he said, "But my wife doesn't drink coffee." So I sent her some cocoa and I sent him a canister of coffee, right? And I said, "You're going to get it next couple of days, and we'll talk then." But I thought but that's now happened to me over and over and over again. But I really never expected this one particular person to call me. Great guy, and I hope he's on here tonight listening. So, again, power of duplication. And that's all this business is all about, folks. It's just duplicating something, and, we started duplicating, and a lot of people started duplicating the 6-day experience. Well, 6-day, give it away free. I mean, I like the path of least resistance, and that is give it to my friend. None of my friends would pay me anyway. And in fact, I would feel kind of, embarrassed to even ask them for money. Look at these numbers. I mean, can you imagine, doing this? And what if these numbers were cut in half or cut in half again, and instead of, 8 million you had going out, you only had 2 million going out, boy, that'd be a shame. While I've got that up there, it's just kind of a nice intro to they're right there at the cusp. Marianne is about to hit double diamond. So a big shout out and congratulations to her. She's worked her behind off, putting things. I'd never seen somebody so organized in my life. She makes me, she's just, I'm besides myself, she keeps in a WhatsApp group or several of them going, she just does a fabulous job keeping all those moving parts, and congratulations. And, and most of her business was in Africa, right? 99% of it, 99% of it is in Africa and Kenya and Nigeria. Then of course she sponsored Diamond Dell, and Diamond Dell's business is in Maui and in Guam and Micronesia and so on. So big shout out and congratulations, Marianne. The other person is an old friend of mine, Mel Gomez. Mel and I don't go way back, but we go back far enough. What I mean by that is that Mel was on that very first airplane with me. We flew up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota together, right? Mel is an industry giant. He's earned millions and millions and millions of dollars in the industry. And he got started when I got started. But after we flew home from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, he decided to go on vacation for a year. So he did. And then he's now off of vacation, and he's been in South Texas, he's been in Puerto Rico, putting the teams together, and just made diamonds. So congratulations, Mel. on all of that. You'd be triple diamond had you started when I started. I know you would. So I mean, it's not even a question. So I'm looking for to seeing everybody in Orlando here very, very shortly. So you know, you never know how close you are, right? So this is the mission, right? You're going to keep digging and digging and digging like crazy. And guess what? You're never, ever, ever going to quit. I mean, that is really the, if I can say anything, you know, if the company is still here and you are not successful, you just have to work harder. You just have to get better trained. You just have to do some things to change yourself because there's other people that are making it. And quite frankly, if they can make it, you can make it. There's no reason in the world that you can't make diamond and way beyond diamond. I mean, like John said, there was a gal in the Philippines, 22 days to diamond, never been in network marketing before. Come on, guys. I mean, you know, it's happening. It's happening. So power of 10. I know you guys have heard me talk about the power of 10 a lot. And, you know, it really is a very, very simple concept. And whether it took you, you know, I know some people that could put together a group of 10 people in a day. Some people would take a week. Other people would take a month. Some people would have a difficult time putting a group of 10 together over a period of time. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay if it takes you a week, a month, 6 months, or a year. I mean, you know, as long as you continue down that road. You know, there's so many people on the team that have full-time JOBs and they're trying to juggle, you know, their job and, you know, this business in together. And you just have to get good at juggling. I mean, you know, that's all. But you've got to get good at having that conversation with everybody that you run into while you're out there on your JOB, right? You know, not if you're in an office and, you know, close proximity, you know, to the boss and all of those things, you know, but outside of that, outside salespeople and service people and so on and so forth. So you just got to get good at doing all of those things because here's what you want. And, you know, find a group of 10 that will build a group of 10. Obviously, you're going to have more than 10 people because, you know, the first 10 people or the first 20 or the first 50 that you know, that come into the business may or may not be the right person. So we're just going to have to continue to find, you know, and continue to hunt for that person. But, you know, when you find a person, then helping them build their group of 10, right? I mean, it just really just makes so much sense, you know, and I just, you know, just tell them, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to build a group of 10. Let's get the names. Let's put it out on paper. Let's do all the things necessary. Let's start talking to these people. Let's start following the play. Let's get them some product and let's have a conversation. And again, all of those things, because when you find that those 10 who go get 10, now you got 100. When you find those 10 who go get those 100, they go get 10, you got 1,000, right? Then you've got 10,000. Then you've got 100,000. The easiest way I know to build a group of 500,000 people or more is just teaching everybody how to build a group of 10. And we've all been taught the power of 10 ever since we were able to count, right? So, you know, building a group of 10. And maybe you need them up on a board, you know, and putting names in there or something. But the only way to fail is to quit. I mean, I'll say that forever and ever and ever. You know, I'm spending a little bit more time on this whole thing of, you know, just what exactly does diamond, you know, look like? You know, with 3 emeralds, with 15,200 and, you know, 15,000 volume on both sides, 10% of that volume must be on your enroller's leg, must be your enroller volume, right? Must be volume that you created. Your sponsor can give you the other 90% of the volume. But, I wouldn't count on it. I would just, some people are going to have to build 2 legs, some people won't. But, I'm working on a little strategy to make this a little bit easier. And, over the course of the next week or so, I'll share that with you. I got this the other day from somebody I didn't know. I just want you to take a second and just read it. I'm not going to read it out loud, but you guys can read it. It was a person that has owned 2 network marketing companies. We never really met, although I did visit his office in Dallas, Texas one time. And I was kind of shocked when I got it, but it's always nice to know that somebody out there appreciates what it is you do, and that you've been doing it for a long period of time, and that you're actually helping some people along the way. Knowing some of the people that we mutually know, he talks about that my work overshadowed the external gossipers and the tales that swirl around successful men like yourself. So I have a feeling I know some of those tales. But, when I got that, I said, hey, thanks, Jerry. If you're a coffee drinker, I'd like to lose a few pounds, shoot me your address, who knows, and I just let the door open, right? And he said, would you believe that I've never drank probably 5 cups of coffee in my life? I don't care much about food, and weight loss is easy for me. I know all about your company, and your reply has within it the very focus that makes you one of the great ones. And again, I thanked him for that compliment. But I'm always fishing, right? You always have to be casting the line and fishing. And that's the only thing that I wanted to really bring out, by showing you this, was that, you just never know. And then I said, okay, if it's not you, I went back to him and I said, just send me all of your coffee drinker friends that are all overweight. And he says, hey, that's everybody I know. So maybe he'll send me a few. So who knows? Anyway, hey guys, that's about all I've got here for this evening. I always like to take my 30 minutes and try to give you as much information that has the potential to change your life as much as it's changed my life. And I think the changes that all of us are going to see, and will impact us over the course of the next 3 to 5 years are going to be just absolutely incredible. So not everybody's going to make the journey. I already know that. I wish that they would. I hope that they will. But, the reality is that they won't. But, that's how life is. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me here today. And I'm going to stop this recording. We'll go back up to